Guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Serena and today I'm going to be giving you my weekly update for this week. Alright, welcome back to the channel. If you've been here before, welcome back. If you're new, make sure to hit the subscribe button, like, comment, all that good stuff. I am Serena, and if you do not know, I usually am here talking about all things sensitive. So this can be anywhere from twin flames to astrological events and archetypes to new earth symptoms, ascension symptoms, everything that goes on in this world that maybe we aren't physically seeing. That's what we're talking about here on this channel. So welcome back. Today is going to be a pretty short and sweet video. I don't think anything super crazy is going to come through. I don't know. I just took myself out on a solo date today. I drove like an hour from where I'm living and went and sat at a coffee shop. It was so peaceful. And I just got home. It's now like, I don't know, maybe 4:30 or so. And I was like just feeling very called to post a YouTube video. So I was like, you know what, let's do it. Let's do our weekly energy update. I posted one for the first time last week. If you didn't watch that, go check it out. I'll post it up here. So yeah, go check that out if you didn't watch it. It kind of has a little bit of information on there about what I've been going through, why I was off YouTube for a little while, why I'm back now, and all that good stuff. So if you're interested in any of that story, go watch it. But yeah, major things have been shifting and changing in my life. So I would be curious to see if those kinds of things are shifting and changing in your life as well. You know, like, the term that keeps coming to my mind is like quantum leaps. It's like we're taking quantum leaps, we're jumping timelines, all of that kind of stuff. So if you did watch my energy update for last week, you will know that I have these beautiful, wonderful cards that I made. So this is my magical deck. I still have yet to name it. I don't have a name for this deck yet. So if you have name suggestions, for a card deck, you can put them in the comments below, and I'm happy to take some suggestions, because right now they're just like my deck and they're just like my magic. So you know, it's something that in the future, if a lot of people got benefit out of and I started selling them, like, hey, that'd be cool. But right now it's just my magic, my way to connect to spirit, my way to connect to my higher self. And if it can help other people out there through that, it's actually funny. So let me go on a little tangent. My partner and I have been using these every single morning. He pulls one, so he gets up for work really early, and every single day he pulls one and leaves one out on the table for me, and then he'll either write me a note or send me a voice message on what his card was relating to that day. So we kind of have this nice little routine where we play with these cards every single day and learn about ourselves and the magic. And that also helps us connect deeper in our intimacy of our relationship too, because we use this as a medium to connect deeper to ourselves, and because we're connecting deeper to ourselves on a regular basis, we then share that with each other. So that's also been a really cool unforeseen benefit of making these cards, is learning more about my partner in a new and interesting way. So if you didn't try that with oracle cards, try that, because your partner may be into it, they may not be. They might be hesitant or resistant at first, because, you know, it's always scary to dive a little bit deeper into intimacy, but it's worth a try, because it really does open your eyes to your partner and the way you see them and the way they see themselves, and it gets you talking about things that you might not ordinarily talk about. So highly recommend. But on that note, let's ask Spirit for what does the collective need to know for this week, this upcoming week. And lately I've been doing Wednesday to Wednesday. I know traditionally that is not like the beginning of the week. I don't know why I've been doing it that way, but that seems to be what's been coming through, what's been my schedule. So I don't know if it'll stay that way. I don't know if it'll change, but let's just say for this upcoming week, like, what is it that the collective is going through? What does the collective need to hear? All that good stuff. So this is the card Romanticism. So this card is really interesting to me because when I first started making this deck, I was channeling all the words that needed to come through. So there's 50 of these. So 50 words came through me. And when I got to making this card, I had no idea what it was going to be about. I was like, I have no idea how to even relate to this card. And so I actually ended up Googling when I was creating the image for this card. I ended up Googling what is romanticism. And so I remember from when I made this one, I was Googling it, and Google said romanticism was like an art period where the subject of art really came on to like the individual. So this portrait of this person in this card is a romanticism period portrait that I found that I wanted to use in the card. So going beyond that into what does that mean for the collective, there's this idea of these two ideas coming together, right? And so what I'm feeling a lot for this time period is it really is all about the individual. It's about the individual. It's about how can you tap into your version of reality? How are you staying in your own frame? I'll give you an example actually, because this very much relates to something that happened to me last week. So I was having a business meeting on Saturday, and Saturday my partner went to his workshop. He does woodworking and joinery, and so he was at his workshop doing a project, and he was like, yeah, swing by after your meeting, like that's cool. And so I sent him a message and I was like, are you there? What's going on? And he didn't respond, so I was like, okay, whatever. So I drove there, and as soon as I get there, he's outside, with his shirt off, wrapped around his hand, and his other coworker friend is over there like looking very panicked. And I'm like, okay, what's happening right now? And so he ended up slicing off the tip of his finger into his nail by a table saw. And so I get him in the car, like literally show up at the perfect time. I get him in the car and we drive straight to the hospital. So then this had not happened to me in quite some time. But I became so worried about him throughout the entire weekend that I actually was so empathetic that I came out of my own frame in order to make sure he was okay. And then I got very disconnected with myself and ended up being very disempowered as well. So then there was a day, I was getting upset because I had a lot of things going on for me with my business and a lot of really exciting news. But I felt like because he had hurt himself, he was getting like all the attention, and like I was feeling very victimized by this and very victimized by life and like woe is me and like all of these things, and I was like so far away from my center because all of my empathy was like on him that I wasn't able to stay in like my own frame. So that went on for almost like 2 full days before I realized like, okay, Serena, you need to spend some time alone. You need to give yourself some love. So this idea of staying in your own frame, staying true to yourself, right? So here's the realization that I came to with this, is that when you are deeply connected to yourself, it is only through your connection from yourself that you can even connect to anybody else outside of yourself. So think about this, right? If you are an empathetic individual, if you're somebody that's highly sensitive, if you're very tapped in spiritually, you have a lot of empathy. You have abilities to connect with people in ways that maybe other people don't. But the important part to remember about that is that it's even more important to stay in your own I don't want to say box, but to stay in your own body, to stay in your own feelings, to stay in your own emotions, because the deeper in which you connect with yourself, the deeper you can actually connect with other people. And when you lose your connection to yourself, is actually when you lose connection to other people as well. So this is all about oneness and separation, right? So when we separate ourselves, from our core, from our own innate being, then we end up separating ourselves from the rest of the world, from the rest of humanity as well. And I know that sounds kind of crazy and woo-woo and like out there, but it really is true. The more deeply nourished you are with yourself, the more you're able to show up for others. The more you love yourself, the more you're able to love others. The more compassion you have for yourself, the more compassionate you are for others. It just goes hand in hand like that. So this idea of romanticism is all about focusing on the individual so that can affect the collective, right? Is starting at this 0 point field. And I like to use that as the term because I learned this recently, and this was so cool to me. I was listening to a podcast, and the idea here was that in science, a dot, right? A dot is like a point. And so in geometry, you have a point, and then a bunch of points make up a line, right? And then a line, 3 lines together makes a triangle, right? But essentially a triangle is made up of all different points. And what they have discovered in science is that they cannot distinguish the center of the universe. Any given point, if you are aware of it, can be the center of the universe. So take that for the 7 billion people that are on this planet, 8 billion people that are on this planet. Each person is the center of their own universe. So this idea of like you are the start and end of your entire universe. Same thing as the person next to you, same thing as your partner, your family member, your friend is the 0 point of their own story, their own universe. And so this idea of romanticism is about what story do you want to tell? What piece of artwork do you want to create from that? Because you have the power. You are the beginning and ending of everything, So this collective energy, last week, if you watched my video from last week, we had this card expression, right? And it was all about expressing yourself, being true, not worrying about what other people are thinking. So now we're taking that and we're building on that and saying, okay, how can you express yourself in a deeper way by saying, I am the beginning and ending of everything, so I have the control over my reality, right? So like just in my example, where I had come out of my own frame, it led me to be very disempowered, right? Because I felt like I had no control. I felt like I was the victim. So this idea of romanticizing is bringing that beauty back to your life through your perspective, through the way you see, right? When we look at a piece of artwork, we're looking at the beauty and it makes us feel something. But 5 to 10 different people can look at a piece of art and say something completely different about it, right? So it's all about the individual expression and the individual perspective. So now is such a strong time to really cancel out any outside opinions, really cancel out where you think people are holding you back, where your own beliefs are holding you back, and really get into your core, into your center, into your own body, into your own mind, and start asking yourself these questions. Start asking yourself, why? Why do I think the things that I think? Why do I behave the way that I behave? Why do I get triggered by the things I get triggered for? And start asking yourself these questions to reveal to you where your own limitations are. And then by doing that, you're able to see the only limitation there was a belief, right? Was a belief that I wasn't good enough, was the belief that that's bad, was the belief that I can't have that, right? So I love this card, I love this card. I was hesitant about it at first when I first made it, because I was like, I don't really know what this is about. Like, Spirit, why are you giving me this? I don't know. But it's such a strong card. And when I look at it, like there's this guy in the center, he's looking out, and there's this boat sailing in the water, and then there's this light going on behind him, right? So if you look at the way things are set up in the photo, it's kind of like the vision is coming in through this way and going that way, right? So it's like you are the 0 point field, and consciousness is filtered through you. But consciousness is filtered through you as like a fractal of the whole, right? So it's your opinions, your thoughts, your beliefs that help make up this complete reality, in the same way that that is true for everybody else as well. So look at yourself this week as, how am I the creator of my reality? How am I that 0 point field where anything is possible to be created from here, right? There's this thing that I heard this week that is, you are the sum, in this very moment, you are the sum of every experience you have ever had, yet you are also the youngest you will ever be. Right? So at this point, merging these two perspectives, you're the youngest you'll ever be, but you are also the wisdom that you have to this point, right? So you're always at this 0 point. You're always at the choice moment of, what do I want to create from here? And I think that that's super special. So that is our energy update for the week. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Leave your comments down below of what you're experiencing this week. What's going on for you? Are you shifting timelines? What's happening? If you want to know more about me, you can check all of the links in the description. I have some goodies in there, some freebies for you. And then also you can go to my website if you're looking to work with me. I do a lot of work with anything regarding New Earth. So if you're trying to navigate your awakening in New Earth, I am a specialist in relationships and boundary settings, especially for empaths, women, and HSPs. And then also I do a lot with the twin flame dynamic and navigating your union. So if you're looking for more help, one-on-one coaching, anything like that, please visit my website. You can fill out my coaching form. And if you're looking for more guidance, I'd be happy to meet you in that space. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I will be showing up for you next week. If the stars align, I will be here next week for another energy update, another card pull. And we'll see you then. Thanks. Big love. Serena.